Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuning in to UCLAradio.com.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
From LA, rooted from Seattle, an old friend, we have the amazing Lola Rice. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. First off, how's Carlos and Ernie?
Carlos and Ernie are wonderful. Thank you. They're playing outside right now.
Nice. Oh, for those who don't know, Carlos and Ernie are...
My children.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're my cats.
Also, I think this is pretty pressing and probably on everybody's mind. A lot of people change their name, and I myself changed my last name when I was a kid. Not a lot of people know that. But what prompted the change from Snurgoot to Rice Rice Baby during the summer? What happened?
Wow, you're really asking the deep, hard-hitting questions
Yeah, the
here.
deep cuts.
Yeah.
The deep cuts.
Well, I thought of Rice Rice Baby, and I just thought that was funny.
Kind of like
because of the
Ice,
song,
yeah,
Ice Baby.
Nice.
I just liked it. And also, Snurgoot was just too confusing for most people. It was my childhood nickname.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I think it's cool, but, the world just wasn't ready for it.
The world wasn't ready.
I wanted people to be able to find me.
Okay, for sure. Last time you performed on campus, it was for String Sing, playing with Sophia Bacino. Mm-hmm. What was it like playing in front of Jem O'Hare from Parks and Rec and Don McLennan from Brockhampton? What was that like?
Can I swear?
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. For those of you who don't know her, Sophia Bacino, Bacino, extremely talented lady, and we're actually doing another show. I'm going to sing with her for her band at the Moroccan Lounge, opening for Tom Coe next Friday.
Next Friday, guys. Next Friday.
Yes.
That's November 4th.
You don't want to miss this, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't want to miss it. Okay. As a Scorsese fan and Tarantino fan, music plays a huge role in music. And film.
Music does play a huge role in music. I would agree.
How do you ever picture your music in films, and if so, like what kind?
Ooh, that is a great question. I like that one. I do picture my music in films. I feel like my style is pretty cinematic, especially the way that I record music. I really like a good cinematic, very dramatic production that's lush and like open and airy. So yeah, I'm gonna get those syncs someday.
Oh yeah. In future Tarantino and Scorsese film. I mean, is Scorsese still alive?
I think he is, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna fact check this afterwards. But okay, with your most recent release, Human, super downhearted yet hopeful melody. After your philosophical debate with our dear friend Masha, shout out to Masha, what was the creative process like, and how did it feel when you pressed that release button for your first ever single?
Okay, well, I'll answer the first question. The creative process was, I oftentimes don't remember my creative processes. I feel like I'll look back and I'm like, how did I write that? I don't know. It just kind of comes out. I do remember that the song started out sounding very differently than it ended. Not the production, just the writing itself. It was a lot more complicated, and there were a lot more words, which I tend to do in my writing.
Yeah.
I tend to try to put too many concepts in and too many words. And I kind of stepped back and I was like, I know there's something here, but I want to kind of try to carve out everything that I can and distill it a little bit.
Yeah.
And once I did that, I was like, oh, I really like this song.
No, I gotta say, the middle part with, the Beatles type synth, I think we talked about it, that was pretty hard.
Thank you.
That goes pretty hard.
Thank you.
And, talking about songwriting process, I know you mentioned that working with different producers kind of hinders your songwriting, when you're writing songs. What's one of the best practices you utilize when you're coming up with a tune?
Well, I wouldn't say that working with different producers hinders the songwriting aspect, because usually the songwriting aspect happens way before I ever get in the studio. I don't really write with producers. I write them and then whatever. What was the question?
What's one of the best practices you utilize when you're writing a song?
Honestly, just to try to let go of judgment and try not to listen too much from the perspective of, would other people like this song, and just try to, it sounds obvious, but be as honest as possible, which is...
Just let it out.
It's harder than it sounds.
Yeah.
You're being really honest, especially when like writing is actually something that I'm definitely still working on, so.
Yeah, no, and I think that really relates to the first ever song that you ever, I guess, published. And it's not Humans. It's your first ever song when you're 4 years old. It's called Half a Lemon Donkey.
Whoa! Not more over here! Oh my god!
Did you utilize the same strategy when you're 4 years old?
Oh, I definitely did. I didn't give a fuck when I was 4 years old. I'm trying to get back to that place mentally.
Nice. I mean, so, like, do you remember your first, like, actual song that you recorded on your phone that you're like, fuck yeah, I'm going to start writing music?
I wrote this song on an airplane when I was 12 years old, and it's called Windy Day, and I still remember it, and
Nice.
That was my first song, and I really liked writing it.
Nice. That's
And I really
awesome.
liked playing it for people, and then I was like hooked. Yeah, I remember it very clearly, actually.
Nice. Yeah, I remember your mom saying that, you started playing piano as a kid. And, as somebody who was self-taught, bass, guitar, piano, drums, what's another instrument that you want to master at? Oh, and banjo.
Ooh. An instrument that I would want to master. I would love to be able to play, like, any horn. Like, ripping on a trumpet is, like,
It's
sick.
hard.
It's so hard. Or sax would be really cool, but every time I try to pick up a sax, I'm like,
It's so...
Sounds
Ralph's
awful.
dad actually plays sax.
I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
Seems
he's
like a pretty talented guy.
He's insane. He's insane.
Um,
But, okay, next question.
Let's go for it.
With inspirations like Brittany Howard from Alabama Shakes, Mitski, and so many more, how do you think representation plays a role in our current pivotal cultural movement and within the music industry?
I mean, I don't know that I'm entirely qualified to answer that question. I can say that I really like the shift that is happening right now. I think there's like a sea change in media as a whole, where finally there's like more representation and people are focusing on it. There's still a long ways to go, especially on the business and production side of things. Like, it's really frustrating to me that in music, for example, I think some insane number, like 0.5% of top 40 hits are produced by women.
Mm-hmm.
And even writing, most of like the biggest songwriters are all men. So there's definitely like
an imbalance.
huge imbalance. But I think that it is changing, which is encouraging.
No, I'm glad. And shifting to representation in a different type of media. As a big fan of Seinfeld and Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yes.
we see a lot of artists been doing co-shows with artists and comedians, like John Mayer with Dave Chappelle. If you could pick a comedian to open for you, who would it be?
Oh
and
my
why?
gosh. God, I would love to say like Eric Andre, but I don't think I have what it takes for that.
That amount of madness, that craziness, of
Yeah.
this outburst.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think of like comedians that aren't problematic.
I mean, Seinfeld, I feel like, is like
Jerry?
Jerry.
Yeah.
Why is it softball?
I feel like Jerry and I could have a good energy together.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like we
you're
would match each other's energy.
Yeah, I mean, if you do move to New York, I feel like
Yeah, I'll call him.
that could be a possibility. I mean, he's listening to it right now.
Hey, Jerry!
With your upcoming show with the Chonks and Dre Ted, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, at El Cid on January 12th.
Oh, El Cid, yeah.
El Cid, on January 12th.
Thank you for reminding me.
And your most recent show at the Moroccan Lounge, so I've heard, you broke a record with most walk-in tickets at the Moroccan Lounge.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did.
I did not know that.
You did, and with playing at different venues, how do audience differ from, say, Hotel Cafe and like a sitting down type to Moroccan Lounge? How do audiences differ?
They differ a lot.
And then do you like? Oh, actually, you can go.
Yeah. Well, I feel like your question was, what do I prefer? Right?
Yeah. What do you prefer? And like, do you select different songs when you're trying to?
Totally. So if it's something like, if I'm opening for the Chonks, which is more of like punk, more like rock, whatever, like high energy, I'll try to incorporate more high energy songs and more kind of that vibe. But honestly, my favorite shows are the ones, and this might sound kind of bad, but it's true. They're the ones where the audience is sitting down and
Nice.
being quiet unless they're singing along. I love when people sing along, but I think it comes from playing so many shows where nobody is paying attention and everyone's just like talking over you and they're like drunk and they're talking to each other, and my music is so lyric based, you know what I mean, where I really spend a long time on lyrics and I like want to show.
You want that interaction.
It's a very frustrating feeling when I feel like people aren't really listening, but at the same time, hey, like that's the nature of it, and I totally understand going to a show and just kind of wanting to vibe and like hang out with your friends. So no hate, but I do love it when people are sitting down, cross-legged.
Exactly.
I guess I just love people's undivided attention.
You know, talking about audience interaction, you know, I think this is a huge thing when it comes to artists playing songs. What do you think about audience clapping alongside the songs? I know, like, some people are like, I loved it, but some people are like, don't do it.
You know, it depends on if they have rhythm.
4 on the floor type beat. Yeah.
It is funny when people like start clapping along and then everyone's kind of going too fast. So
it like, kind of like changes your tempo a little bit.
But hey, it's cool if they're into it.
Yeah, no, most definitely. If you could pick a dream venue that you can play at and that indicates like, you know what, I made it. What venue would that be?
The Wiltern, I think.
That's a really good choice.
If I could...
We saw Big Thief.
Yes, we did.
We did.
And it was fantastic. If I could headline the Wiltern, I would probably die happy, honestly. I'd be like, cool.
The Wiltern is amazing.
That's like one of my biggest bucket list items.
Oh, yeah. You know, as someone who loves furniture, from modernism to more boutique style type...
Are you talking about me?
Yeah. Type furnitures in a house. Where do you think your ideal house, also geographically, should a house be built upon?
Well, as someone who loves furniture, apparently, I mean, you're not wrong. I guess I do love furniture.
You do love furniture. Unless this is...
Like, what's my favorite, like, style of house, and, like, where would I put it?
Where would you put the house? Kind of like Minecraft. You could build the house anywhere.
Well, my favorite style is, like, tall, skinny Victorian houses. I feel like, you know, like, with lots of little rooms. With, like, 4 little living rooms. There's, like, tons of doors everywhere, and it's, like, a little maze.
Nice.
And it's, like, a lot of staircases. Kind of, like, London has that. Even it's, like, San Francisco. The like, Queen Anne homes are really pretty. That kind of tall, skinny vibe. I kind of grew up in a house like that, which is why. But if I could put it anywhere, it'd either be New York or LA.
But
I feel like I'd put a big, tall, skinny house in the Hollywood Hills. Might be a little weird, but...
Nice. Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like that would be the dream. That would be the dream. You know, transitioning towards the end of the interview, what would you be playing for us today?
Oh, good question. So I'm going to be playing 1.5 songs. The first full song is called Charlie Horse. If you are my friend or you know my music, you've probably heard this one. I hope you don't mind listening to it again. But I'm going to finally release it in a few weeks.
Nice.
So I'm going to play that one. And also, I wrote like half a song today. And it's not perfect. It's obviously a work in progress. But I'm trying to get more comfortable with imperfection. And I'm just going to go for it.
I'm very excited for that song because I don't think anybody ever heard of it.
No, maybe my neighbor.
Maybe your neighbor. And you know, this is kind of a 2-part question.
Sure.
But if you could leave a message to the world, what would it be? And also, is there anything that you want people to know what's going on? Which, you know, Charlie Horse. That was that. But if you could leave a message to the world, what would it be?
Don't worry, life will go on without you. Oh, no, wait, can I change it?
Yeah, you can change it.
Okay. It would be, time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana.
Mic drop. And my last and final question, what's your favorite cereal?
Barbara's Shredded Oats.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Lola. I really appreciate you for coming up.
This was fun.
And next up, it's the ISP.
Woo woo! Stick around, folks.